Let's go! Coinage just crossed 100,000 subscribers, winning the Silver YouTube Play Button Award, the holy grail of creator life, as we become the first community-owned outlet to win one of these. But as exciting as it is to celebrate one of these by myself, it's actually not mine, it's Coinage's. And so, in order to share this with you, we're gonna have to tokenize it.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But maybe, before we do, we should tell you why. Another day, another trophy on the Coinage shelf. And first, let me start by thanking you for subscribing to the channel. Because, you know, hitting 100,000 subscribers is no easy feat, especially for a crypto channel, considering there are only like 7 of us still here. So thank you. Coinage started almost 3 years ago, when times were simpler. Gary Gensler was still SEC chair, Stoner Cats had just been sued, and Do Kwon and SBF weren't even in jail yet. In fact, I had just quit my job as an anchor at Yahoo because I believed so much in Web3 after seeing Constitution DAO make DAO history by raising more than $40 million to buy a copy of the US Constitution.
I'm gonna steal it.
What?
Nick Cage wasn't even involved, but somehow Constitution DAO almost actually did it. They raised enough money to go from a crazy idea to doing something together in just 10 days' time, and took on a billionaire on the floor of Sotheby's auction house in a live-streamed showdown. That, to this day, is one of my favorite memories in all of crypto's crazy history.
A DAO could be the owner of a rare copy of the US Constitution.
80% of the money was raised in the last 48 hours, and there was this crazy auction going back and forth.
The United States Constitution at $41 million. Sold $41 million, paddle 411.
Outlets like the popular crypto news site CoinDesk incorrectly reported that Constitution DAO had won. Today it was revealed that the winning bidder was Chicago hedge fund billionaire Ken Griffin.
Somehow billionaire Ken Griffin manages to surface at the weirdest times. He was the villain in the GameStop saga when Roaring Kitty and the rest of Reddit's Wall Street Bets traders managed to bring a hedge fund to its knees by short squeezing it into a slow death. And randomly, after more than 15,000 strangers somehow managed to band together on the internet to buy one of the last remaining copies of the document that made America a free democracy, Ken Griffin shows up out of nowhere to outbid all of them. And now, as crypto finally appears to be making strides under a new administration, Ken Griffin shows up again as Citadel announces they want to get into crypto market making. And perhaps it's a fitting time for Ken Griffin to appear again, because, if you haven't noticed, meme coins and the brain rot they've brought with them have upended the thing that made crypto amazing in the first place. In fact, as Constitution DAO showed, crypto wasn't always just about trading. And you could argue it wasn't even about making money, which seems weird considering that's all why anyone's still here. It used to be about community. And no, not in the way that meme coin proponents are always going on and on about.
This is how I see the meme coin space evolving. You want to be focused on things that are going to become cults, brands, or movements.
That talk from Murad has amassed more than 8.5 million views and came at a time when meme coins were reaching an explosion. There was Trump's meme coin, which is almost fully round-tripped, and there was Argentina President Javier Milei's meme coin, which fully exposed to the world once and for all the shenanigans that have been going into why these things have become so utterly destructive. There are examples after examples of meme coins that I could point to that all show basically everyone in the red if you didn't buy right in the first few minutes of a token's launch.
You would have had to buy within the first basically 2 hours of launch. You understand that? Anytime after that, if you're still holding, you probably lost money. Everyone who bought basically lost money. Shocker, shocker. Same thing with Enron coin. I hope you're getting the point.
And if price were the only metric that mattered, it might be pretty easy to show that. But it's even worse than that, because even the people who make money on these things might not realize at what cost. Perhaps best proven out by the kid who pimped out his own mom for the milk meme coin.
Come on, guys. Want to see him pour milk all over these 36 Double D's?
No amount of profits could even begin to pay for the counseling that little guy is gonna need. Or I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it's fairly apparent that the tide has turned on meme coins. None of the recent launches are anywhere near the amount of grift they once were, and perhaps that's because everyone knows they're all just front-run launches or people running bots to snipe and suck up all the tokens from a liquidity pool and then dump them on everyone else. And that's kind of what makes now so interesting. Were meme coins always about making money above all else? Or was there a time where these things actually did mean more than that? And if they are just about making money, are they about making money for the community or just the first guy to dump on everyone else? Either way, it all seems much less efficient than where we were as an industry in the days of Constitution DAO. In fact, when Constitution DAO lost in the Sotheby's auction, they actually dropped a token that made a lot of people a lot of money, including myself. And the amount of tokens you got out corresponded to the amount of money you put in, which is cool because that meant everyone got the same price no matter when they entered. Contrast that to today, where only the people who are insanely early, either by some sweetheart KOL deal or by virtue of being part of the cabal that gets tipped off, and suddenly things really don't look like they got any better. Or at least, maybe it would be more accurate to say, any fairer. Because again, I ask, what is the purpose of meme coins really? Because if it's just to trade something or buy low and sell high, boy do I have a surprise for you. There is something called the stock market, and it's pretty cool. But I'll be goddamned if I quit my job at Yahoo just to start this stupid show and earn a stupid plaque just to recreate the goddamn stock market. Ken Griffin is already a billionaire and already basically controls that one. And to be honest, I'm just not sure why we're here hellbent on recreating the same thing that many of us ran from because it wasn't working for us, just to recreate it on chain.
Robinhood's real customer is not retail investors like you. Its real customer is the hedge funds.
Our decision to temporarily restrict customers from buying certain securities had nothing to do with a market maker or a market participant.
You know, we might want to make this the stock of the day now that it's gaining 103%. That is volatility.
I will tell you, I've never seen anything like it. I'm concerned about it deeply.
I'm calling it the ultimate short squeeze. How much money is being made?
Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Do you have a minute?
My point is, when we launched Coinage as the first show anyone could co-own simply by watching Coinage NFTs on sale now, we did so because we were trying to create a fair launch for everyone to co-own us in a very simple way. That is, we only ever have 5,000 NFTs of our lower ownership tier and 1,000 NFTs of our higher NFT ownership tier. Holders of those two classes all vote together to steer everything Coinage does and all of our funds. It's a very simple ownership structure, but more importantly, is very much that. Real ownership that entitles our members to real patronage dividends when we make real money. Those are all things I can say, because we very much decided at the beginning of all this to commit to being a very real entity and a real co-op. And if you must know, it's because we have a very real legal team that very much warned me against ever wanting to be in a position where I might not know who the money we've raised is for, which was very much the place the kid who launched that doomed Libra token recently found himself in.
Whose money is it? I mean, it's the... I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not mine. It's Argentina's.
Which brings us back to this YouTube play button and the experiment we now want to launch in the spirit of Constitution DAO circa 2021. And to be fair, I can't really take credit for the light bulb moment that triggered this idea. Well, on the one hand, I guess I could because I'm a genius, but on the other hand, I noticed Solana's co-founder Anatoly tweeting a defense of meme coins the other day that kind of blew my mind. He basically brought up the distinction between pricing something versus valuing it. And if you think about meme coins, they are incredibly efficient ways to price something because anyone is able to buy a coin at a price they're willing to pay. On most meme coin charts, over a long enough time horizon, all prices collapse to zero. And in looking at that, you could say that's how these things are supposed to go. Meme coins trade higher in price when they have the attention of the day, usually due to what's happening in the news cycle, like that time Peanut the squirrel got murked.
We just learned that they have euthanized Peanut.
And the raccoon as well.
And the raccoon as well. I am so sorry.
But Peanut traded lower over time as we all completed our grieving process. And rationally, that makes sense. The value of a meme coin should always be zero because it's worth nothing. But its price is always going to fluctuate based on what someone is willing to pay for it. On the other hand, though, what if we started with something we knew had a price of $0, but also knew its value to be greater than $0? Well, then we would have an experiment on our hands. And that's exactly what the YouTube play button is. It's something that a lot of people want, but only a few people can actually earn. YouTube doesn't sell this thing, and Coinage technically paid nothing to get it. But I do know all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into winning it, just like all the other creators around the world who celebrate theirs too.
I finally got it! It's finally here!
Wow, check that out, guys.
Oh, wow. I'm getting real emotional now.
I'm fine.
It's a pretty awesome moment for a lot of creators because you can't just buy these things. And to be extremely clear, in no way are we reselling ours. For one, that would be against YouTube's terms of service, and we don't want to violate those. For two, in order to comply with one, our lawyers are pretty explicit in me reminding you that if you were to buy one of the tokens we are going to launch, that you actually don't own anything. And in no way should you expect to profit. In fact, for three, I'd go even further and say, please do not buy the play button token. It's not something I'd recommend, considering I bet my whole career and reputation as a creator on Coinage's actual path to letting you co-own us as a DAO. And so you might say, Zach, if there isn't really any reason to buy the play button token, why are you launching it? And I would say that that is the experiment. That when I put $250 into Constitution DAO, I wasn't doing it because I thought I would make money, or because I thought that the people token would be worth more than the ETH I had put in. I bought it simply to be a part of something, a collective on the internet. As with everything Coinage does, I own nothing myself. The Coinage DAO Co-op owns this channel, owns everything we've ever published, and now that we've earned one of these, owns the play button too. But it doesn't really sit right, considering we founded Coinage on the premise of breaking down the wall between us and you, that it would sit here in the studio, statically behind me forever. So we are fair launching the play button token, which, after turning an emoji orange and using one of the most popular fair launch platforms in Pink Sale, it really only took 3 steps. I set the ticker play button and picked the standard amount of 1 billion tokens, which Pink Sale handles via their standard contract by taking a 5% cut of the SOL we raise. Then I set the amount of tokens we're looking to drop through the launch, which seems to be standard at 10%. After the fair launch ends, 51% of the token supply gets thrown into a liquidity pool to support early trading at the price established by the raise, and the remaining 39% of tokens all go to the Coinage DAO. In theory, that makes this one of the simplest token launches ever. And voila! Just like that, our fair launch was live. And up until it ends, just like Constitution DAO, anyone can throw in up to 5 SOL to get the same price as me, and hopefully we avoid any snipers trying to pull any shenanigans by giving our viewers first dibs. From there, I guess we'll see where the experiment in value and price goes. But if you want to own Play Button, head to Coinage.media to get in on the token launch and whatever comes next. I'm Zach Guzman. This was Coinage. Stay safe out there.